world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Hello everybody out there in YouTube land, this is your guide to No Man's Sky planets, Captain Mayday. Today we're going to be checking out planet Alpha Delta, a desolate world. Going to try out a new type of system. We're going to use a 10-star rating system on 10 different aspects of the planet. The 11th aspect being the overall planet review, which is based on which parts of the planet get a 5-star or above. And that will basically give us an overall, score for the planet. Now, let's. This planet was really cool. I thought it was pretty awesome. But overall, I wouldn't rate it too terribly high. So, the weather here is extreme wind blasting, and whenever I land, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. As soon as you get close to that ground, all you can see is fog and heavy winds. Sentinels are missing, with the flora being abundant and the fauna being abundant. The resources here, or main resources, are cactus flesh, sodium, pyrite, and activated copper. The economy is research comfortable for the solar system, conflict level is peaceful, and the dominant life forms are the Viking. The approximate age of this planet is 2.76 billion years old. The atmosphere is 70% thallium and 23% sulfurine, and with trace others, which that honestly only leaves like 7% of the atmosphere to be other things. But the primary core element of the planet is gold. So this planet is definitely something that you would probably, I mean, as far as being the basis for the actual planet itself, I could see how gold would be what would grow, or something that would form off of a gold basis, being something along these lines. The geology is rugged. Other notes other than that, the diameter of the planet is 59,771 units. Now, as far as the actual rating I have for this planet, as far as creature variety, there are a good number of different looking creatures, but as far as how many creatures there are and what aspects they're filling up in the world, I would give this 3 stars on this planet. Now, the second part being the mineral spread. Minerals, I see them, you can see them spread out pretty evenly, but at the same time, these aren't like massive minerals. These aren't giant structures. And on top of that, there's really not that many minerals on this planet to begin with. There's only 12 minerals, and I know that's a lot more than there usually is as far as fauna, but when you consider most of these are small rocks and formations like this, I'm going to give it a 3-star rating for that as well. Number of artifacts. As far as monoliths and like ancient sites and stuff like that, very rare, very far and few in between. Most of them aren't even on this planet. Most of them are off-world, so every time I've tried using an artifact planetary chart on this planet, it usually leads me off-world, but there was occasional times where it would lead me to a couple of places on this planet itself. So I'm going to give the artifact rating a 1. I would even just appreciate more the knowledge stones, but there's not too many of those either. Settlement frequency is very rare. Next to impossible. After a few hours of exploration, I've only found one trading post. Most everything else was like infested factories and stuff like that. Not too much that was actually habited. So I'm going to give that a 4 as well. Now for base building, this would be a great place for like a hidden base, or a base that you don't want your enemies getting to too easily. Something that would be really cool for you to like kind of hide out in, and it's got a high mortality rate, and especially if you're playing on the survival mode. So I'm gonna give this a 4, because I mean, as nice as I can see building a base here, but I don't think I would myself. Then we have for beauty. Now as far as deserts go, I love a good desert, and this place is definitely a beautiful desert when the skies are clear, but it's so rare for the skies to actually be clear due to the heavy winds. You usually can't see that far in front of you, even with a good render distance. So I'm going to give that a rating of 1. However, there is one part of it, and you'll see it coming up soon. One beautiful thing that I find very pretty is the electrical storms that were occurring. They occurred a couple of times, but I only managed to capture one, so I kind of put it in. This is the beginning of another storm, but unfortunately no electrical storm happened at this moment, so I went ahead and clipped in a video from earlier whenever I was doing my exploration, trying to figure out what I was going to rate the planet. I put that in there. Let's see. Then we have uniqueness for number 7. Now, I haven't run into too many of these planets that are, like this. And here's the electrical storm part, but I haven't run into too many planets that have this kind of feel to it. It's definitely like an alien world meets Wild West kind of feel, but not quite the Wild West you would expect. So for that, I'm going to give it a rating of 6. Now for number 8, we got plant life. Not a whole lot of variety there with the plant life, but they are definitely interesting. It's all land, and you got a few underground ones that are usually typical to the normal underground ones that you find. But these structural masses right here were pretty interesting. It looks kind of like a termite mound that you would see in the outback, but it's a plant. So for the plant life, I'm going to give it a 6 as well, because of the overall look and aesthetic that the plant life adds to the planet itself. Now for number 9 is the overall awesomeness, and like I said, this planet is very awesome. I love the look to it. I love the feel of being lost in the storm. So and it's just overall an awesome feel and look to be in. So for that, I'm going to give it a 7. Now the land to ocean ratio, or land to water ratio, very poor, because it is a desolate planet, so it's almost entirely desert. And for that, I'm going to give it a score of 1, because you gotta have water to survive, ladies and gentlemen. And that brings us to the overall planet review score, which I'm going to tally up. And once I tallied it all up, it was 3 stars. We got 1 point in uniqueness, 1 point in plant life, and 1 point in awesomeness. And with that, we're going to end this episode. Thank you guys, and I'll catch you next week. Don't miss out. And stay awesome. Watch out for Karens. And I'll catch you guys next time on No Sky Unexplored.